A 17-year-old is sitting at his school desk. On his phone, right now during class, his app is processing tens of thousands of food scans. Revenue is hitting over $1 million a month, and in a few weeks he is going to sit in an AP exam room for 12 combined hours and fill in not a single answer. Not because he gave up. Because he already built something that made the test irrelevant. This is the story of how a teenager built one of the fastest growing AI apps in the country before he ever graduated high school. The app is called Cal AI. The idea behind it is almost embarrassingly simple. Point your camera at your food, and artificial intelligence calculates your calories and macros automatically. No scales, no manual logging, no friction. Just a photo. But before we get into the business, you need to understand who built it, because the app did not come out of nowhere. It came out of a very specific kind of mind, shaped very early. Zach was 7 years old when he begged his mother to enroll him in a summer camp that taught kids how to build games. Most children that age are asking for toys. He was asking for tools. That single decision planted something in him that school, for all its structure and expectations, could never quite contain. He would sit in classrooms and feel the pull of a completely different kind of education. One built not on grades and college applications, but on building things that actually worked in the real world. By his freshman year of high school, he had already launched his first real product, an unblocked gaming website that let students bypass their school's internet filters and play games during class. Technically clever, slightly rebellious, and wildly popular, it generated real traffic, real users, and real revenue at an age when most of his peers were still figuring out what to put on their college essays. But it was, in retrospect, just the opening act. The idea for Cal AI arrived the way most great ideas do, through personal frustration. Zach had started going to the gym, driven by the universal teenage motivation of wanting to look better, and downloaded one of the most popular calorie tracking apps available. 3 days in, he quit. The app demanded he weigh every piece of food on a scale, manually log every ingredient, and maintain a level of documentation that felt completely unsustainable for anyone living a normal life. It was built for perfectionists. Not for real people. He filed that frustration away. And when ChatGPT and the first wave of powerful AI tools started flooding the internet, something clicked. What if you could just take a picture? Together with his co-founder and CTO Henry, Zach moved fast. They built the core product themselves, kept costs low by doing the programming in-house, and when they launched publicly, the response was immediate. They knew they had something real, so they did what serious founders do when they sense a genuine opportunity. They went all in. That summer, Zach and Henry packed up and moved to San Francisco, living in a hacker house that blurred the line between office and bedroom, pouring every waking hour into the product. By the end of that month, they had made their first real hires and built the foundation that would carry Cal AI through the next year of explosive growth, running a business generating over $1 million a month while simultaneously attending high school is, by any reasonable measure, absurd. Zach was averaging 40 hours a week on Cal AI on top of school, working from his phone or laptop during class between periods after midnight. The business did not pause for homework. It did not slow down for exams, and it did not care about graduation timelines. The engine behind that growth? Influencer marketing. That is where the majority of their spending goes, and it has proven to be the sharpest tool in their arsenal by a significant margin. They had competitors. They always had competitors. But Zach's view is direct. Those other apps are the reason Cal AI exists. They were frustrating enough, broken enough, that building something meaningfully better was not just possible, it was necessary. Scaling the business came with a financial puzzle most founders don't encounter until they're much further along. Because Apple operates on a roughly 45-day payment delay, Cal AI was growing faster than it was being paid. They were pumping money into user acquisition for months before the returns caught up. It took 6 months before they were genuinely ahead of that curve. 6 months of profitable growth that looked, on a cash flow basis, like it was perpetually about to run dry. Most people would have blinked. They did not, and when the curve finally flipped, it flipped decisively. $1 million months became the baseline. A $100,000 personal dividend followed. And then came the Lamborghini. Not as a performance for social media, but as a private acknowledgement that the path he had chosen, the one that looked reckless to everyone watching from the outside, had been real all along. He does not apologize for the car. He frames it the same way he frames everything else. It was always a dream. It makes more sense to enjoy it now, and beyond that, he doesn't need much else. There is something genuinely refreshing in that. Not the car itself, the honesty behind it. What comes next for Zach is both clear and deliberately open-ended. He chose to go to college, not because he needed a credential, but because he wanted to hold on to a version of young adulthood that entrepreneurship alone couldn't give him. He is moving into a house near campus with other app founders, a place they are already calling the App Mafia, where the plan is to live a genuinely strange and exciting dual life between startup culture and student life. Cal AI, meanwhile, continues to grow toward what he describes as its real finish line. The moment the app is helping people improve their health entirely on autopilot, without friction, without effort, without them ever having to think about it. After that, he wants to build something even larger, a generational company. He does not know exactly what it looks like yet. Then again, he didn't know what Cal AI would become either, and look how that turned out.